When I told her my parents had passed away, she didn't even pause. Over the phone, I could hear the noise of a party, balloons squeaking, people laughing too loudly. She said, "We're busy at my sister's birthday." "No, I'm so sorry." "No, are you okay?" "Nothing." I stood alone in the hospital parking lot, the wind cutting through my coat like knives, the sharp smell of antiseptic still clinging to me. My father's final words were still ringing in my ears. My mother died just moments later. I had picked up the phone to call my wife, needing some kind of comfort. Instead, she talked about cutting cake. That was the first moment I understood, really understood, that something fundamental had changed. It wasn't sudden. It had been creeping in quietly, like mold under wallpaper. We'd been married 12 years. Our life wasn't flashy, but it was steady. Or so I thought. I worked hard. She spent freely. I gave love. She tolerated it. Our daughter, Maya, was the only warm light in an increasingly cold house. At first, I told myself she was just distracted, busy. But then I noticed the quiet stretches, the way her eyes slid past me when I spoke, how her phone always lay face down. I remembered coming home late from the office, more than once to find 2 wine glasses in the sink. She claimed her sister had stopped by. Her sister doesn't drink red wine. I didn't argue. I watched. When the paperwork for the inheritance came, I didn't touch it. I was still drowning in grief. But she walked into my study, without a moment of hesitation, and asked, "Will we put it into a shared account?" That was the moment I stopped wondering. I knew. I asked her if she'd like to sit with Maya and explain why, when Grandpa died, her first instinct was to talk about money. She rolled her eyes and told me I was being dramatic. The next day, Maya gave me a drawing. A simple picture, her mom holding hands with a man I didn't recognize. Just stick figures. But children see things adults try to hide. I didn't ask questions. I didn't argue. I started preparing. Step 1. I moved the inheritance into a trust. Not in my name, Maya's. She wouldn't have access until she turned 21. Until then, no one could touch it. Not even me. It was sealed. Step 2. I met with a lawyer, discreetly. We looked into bank records, phone logs, travel activity. The truth was uglier than I expected. She hadn't just checked out emotionally, she had been quietly funneling money away for some time. Step 3. I let her believe I was falling apart. I worked later, forgot things, became a shadow in my own home. She didn't see what was coming. She let her guard down, got careless, even started bringing him over when she assumed I was out of town. But I wasn't. I saw everything. The funeral passed. She dressed in black, cried right on cue. But she didn't mention the will until 3 days later. That morning, she sat across from me at the kitchen table, her words practiced, calm. She said it would be fair to divide things equally, as partners, she said. Just then, Maya walked into the room, a white envelope in hand. She looked at her mother and asked, "That's why you came, right?" Then gently placed the envelope in her lap. Inside were photographs, messages I'd printed out, hotel receipts, evidence. Her hands trembled as she looked up, the blood draining from her face. "You followed me?" she asked. I didn't move. I didn't speak for a moment. Then I said, "I paid attention. Something you stopped doing." She jumped up, ready to scream, but I stayed composed, sliding my chair back slowly. "You were unfaithful. You lied. You tried to take what belonged to your own daughter." She opened her mouth to defend herself. I nodded toward the door. "You should leave. Pack what little dignity you have left." The divorce papers arrived the following day. She tried to fight the trust, claimed emotional manipulation. My lawyer almost laughed. We had everything, proof, testimonies, bank statements. The judge looked at her like she was something unpleasant stuck to a soul. She walked out of court empty-handed. No alimony, no access. Just a tarnished name and paparazzi catching every step of her downfall. Her lover had a wife too, one far less understanding. Maya and I moved into my parents' old home. It was peaceful. Birds, trees, quiet. She started drawing again, happy faces now. Just 2 of them. Sometimes I come across my ex's social media. New look, new name, but the same vacant expression, still chasing things she never cared to create. People ask how I managed to stay calm, how I didn't lose control. I tell them revenge isn't about wreckage. It's about clarity. It's about taking back power from someone who thought you were blind. That moment Maya handed her the envelope, she did something I never taught her. She saw a lie and named it. That's why you came, right? No drama, just truth. I used to think pain weakened people. Now I understand it refines them. She tried to take half. In the end, she got nothing. And I walked away with what mattered. My integrity and my peace.